One day at dawn in a predominantly black neighborhood in North Richmond, California, the quiet was shattered by the sound of 10 gunshots. That same morning, the body of Denzel Dowell was found lying in the street, shot in the back and head. The police claimed that Deputy Sheriffs Mel Brunhurst and Kenneth Gibson had arrived at the scene at 4:50 a.m. on a tip from an unidentified caller about a burglary. They claimed that when they arrived, Denzel Dowell and another man ran from the back of a liquor store and refused to stop when ordered to halt. Broncos claimed he fired one shot which struck and killed Denzel Dowell. The date was 1st of April 1967, but this was no funny April Fool joke. So what did this story have to do with the Black Panther Party? Welcome to the Sankofa Pan-African series. Please support us through Patreon and by buying me coffee. Don't just subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notification button, share our videos, and check out our website, sankofastorybooks.com, for history, Afrocentric stories, and other resources for children. Well, this story, which is eerily similar to a lot of murders by the police, which led to the Black Lives Matter movement, was at the heart of the formation of the Black Panther Party. The official explanation for how and why Denzel Dowell was killed simply did not add up, and his family and community were not buying it. There was no sign of entry, forced or otherwise, at the liquor store that he was supposed to have been burgling. Also, the police's claim that Dowell had not only run but also jumped 2 fences while trying to get away before being shot down was an outright lie, because Dowell had a bad hip, a bad limp, and could not run, let alone jump fences. The way the bullets entered Dowell's body also showed that he had been shot with his hands up in surrender. In spite of all this, it took an all-white jury very little time to decide that his murder was justifiable homicide, because the police officers on the scene had suspected that he was in the act of committing a felony. Please take the time to check out Black Against Empire, the history and politics of the Black Panther Party by Joshua Bloom and Waldo E. Martin Jr. Now, the demand for justice for Denzel Dowell was one of the first major organizing campaigns that the Black Panther Party took up against police brutality and the need for fairness in the justice system. Unfortunately, almost 60 years after the party was formed in 1966 to stop the kind of violence that Denzel Dowell suffered, there is very little out there about the true purpose and achievements of the Black Panther Party. I will not bother, going into the textbook versions of the Black Panthers, because there are myriads of misinformation out there about them. Most of the misinformation were fabricated and officially sanctioned by the FBI, which set out to destroy and tarnish everything that the Black Panther Party stood for. For the records, the Black Panther Party was an organization started in Oakland, California in 1966. One of its primary purposes was to stop and prevent the police brutality and murder of Black people. As an organization, it set out to address a wide range of issues that were affecting Black communities, like healthcare, housing, decent employment, and fairness in the courts so that black people could be tried by juries of their peers. The party was made up of both men and women, and by the early 1970s, the majority of the leadership of the Black Panther Party were women. It was also anything but a racist organization because a number of white people actually joined and supported them. The Black Panthers simply had the ability to look closely into the problems affecting their communities, and then they came up with solutions to address them. For example, African American children weren't learning in school because most of them were having to learn on empty stomachs because their parents were unemployed and could not feed them. So the Black Panthers went to grocery stores, got donations of food, and created free breakfast programs, which were run by every chapter of the party across the country. They created free health clinics by going to hospitals and medical schools and inviting doctors and medical students to come and deal with some medical issues in the black communities. For example, one of Fred Hampton's strengths as the leader of the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party was his ability to persuade people, whether black or white, to donate and to support the causes of the Black Panther Party. So he worked with other groups and organizations and gave access to poor people of other ethnic groups along with the black community. He gave access to groups like the Latinos, Asians, Native Americans, even large groups of whites who had moved up from the South or into Chicago from Appalachia. Well, while the Black Panthers were organizing solving these issues, the press was vilifying and demonizing them by telling lies about them because they just did not like the fact that the Black Panthers were succeeding in providing services for the poor when they had failed. In a nutshell, that was the major crime that the Black Panthers committed. The same crime that the Marcus Garvey-led Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, the UNIA, had committed in the 1920s. In addition to demonizing and discrediting the Black Panthers in the press, the government hounded and forced the party to arm its members against the unlawful arrest of their leaders, some of who, like Fred Hampton, were killed outright. Fred Hampton was killed on December 4, 1969, when officers of the Chicago Police Department and the Illinois State Attorney's Office burst into his apartment at dawn, where he and everybody else in the building were sleeping. They sprayed the place with bullets, wounded several people after killing the party member who was on sentry duty by a shot straight through the heart. They found and dragged Hampton, who was asleep next to his 8-month pregnant girlfriend, out of bed and executed him by shooting him point blank at the back of the head. So why did Fred Hampton and other members of the Black Panther Party have to pay with their lives for simply organizing around issues like feeding kids, taking care of sick people, not wanting black people to be killed by the police, or demanding a fair justice system? These are questions that we must not stop asking. We must also keep asking why we are still being told only negative stories about the Black Panther Party by the mainstream media. And who benefits from all the white lies against them? Please do your own research on the Black Panther Party and other organizations like them that were deliberately vilified, hounded, and annihilated by the US governments and their agents for simply working to better the lives of their communities. Thanks for watching. Please support us through Patreon and by buying me coffee so we can continue to bring you this series. Subscribe if you've not yet done so. Please turn on the notification button. Don't forget to share our videos with all your contacts and keep your comments coming.